You know I'm gonna do the bad end so I can get the achievement for all the ends. And it's gonna be, yep. Hello. Hello, this artistic we've been doing here. Welcome back to Corpse Party Book of Shadows. We are on chapter 7, Tooth. American School, Senior High School, Student Council Room, 4:30 p.m. What's that?
明日だぞ。
ん？何がだ？
蹴り入れていい？
却下。何があるんだ明日。こら！生徒会室で暴力行為は禁則と定めたろう。
知るもんか。忘れてる方が悪いもん。
やめなきゃ。こちらに非があるなら謝罪する。まず聞こうじゃないか。
この部屋の徹底掃除だよ。見てこれ。何これ。片付けろっつうの。何この玉入れのやつじゃん。体育祭いつだったよ。
ああ、そういえばそんなことを言っていたか。
Wait, are we gonna see how they got in there?
一体
忘れてたでしょ。
いや、記憶はしていた。僕も美月の意向には。
普通に喋れ。
ああ、忘れてたさ。俺だっていろいろ考えることがあって忙しかったんだよ。会長だからって何でもかんでもみんな俺んとこ持ってくるしさ。悪かったな。
うん、許す。
なんだ
初期としての進言です。たまには言い訳くらいした方がいいよ。男らしい生徒会長もかっこいいけどさ。
美月
だが戦線離脱は許さないからな。逃げられると思うなよ。
わかった。
わかんねえやつだな、ともひろ。ミンコは俺の嫁だっつってんだろ。
いや、譲らないぞ。涼介にはナナさんって人がいるだろ。ダマタとかマジないわ。
バカ。3人からモテて初めてリア充だろ。上皇。
So he wants a harem.
楽しそうだね、それ。ゲーム？
おお、山本。お前もやる？タッチペンでグリグリしてチューするゲーム。女の子3人と付き合えるぜ。
Wasn't there a Senran Kagura game that was like that? That it somehow got released on the Switch?
何？
ハマるのはいいけど。
I know this game's from
一人に絞れ。
I know this game's from 2011, way before the Switch, but you know the one I'm talking about.
言って。
あんたら明日のこと覚えてるんだろうね。
ん？何でしたっけ？
I had no idea any of this was going on in the student council room that day. I had other things on mind, specifically a certain boy. Byakuden Senior High School, Class 2-4, after school. My name is Toko Kirisaki. I had been muffling for some time. Best friend Kurosaki.
ねえねえ、ゆうやってさ、彼女いるの？
ん？あ、いや、あいつ今フリーだと思うよ。なんで？
狙っちゃおっかななんて。
マジ？おお、いいじゃん、応援するよ。でもあいつな、女の子といてもいっつもつまんなそうにしてるから、付き合えても切り裂きがあんまり楽しくないかもしれない。
でも確かにゆうやってモテる割に手とか全然出してこないって女子はみんな言ってるな。
それって悪い印象？
クリーンなイメージ。
ほう。
This was Kensuke Kurosaki who'd known Yuya Kizan, the cave boy, like pretty much all the time. Oh no, oh you poor girl. You poor girl. Crushing on one of the worst people to crush. Oh. I figured I'd come to him for all the information needed in my conquest, since he was pretty much guaranteed to know Yu's dating history. And so far, things seem to be going really well. I mean, not only did I confirm he wasn't singing around, but I got his best friend's blessing too. I confirmed that he really wasn't the showy, obnoxious, cool guy type. Hehe, that suited me just fine.
Kurosaki! Kora!
Wait!
Kurosaki was understandably rather startled by the extraordinarily agitated female voice that suddenly rang out from behind his head. But that's Hellgirl Mitsuki for you. She was standing in the classroom doorway, arms folded across her chest, looking like some angry deity about to cast judgment down upon the world. And she had that deathly gleam in her eyes, and the one that could fell the mightiest warriors before he even had a chance to draw his sword.
今日は生徒会室の徹底掃除するから来なさいって言ったでしょ。
いや、俺今日部活だって言ったじゃん。おい、フクロイな。
逆らうな。もう無理だ。
The Hellgirl's work, all the complexion was gone from Fukuroi's face. He was a man with a demon on his back. Whip at the ready, fully prepared to bring divine punishment upon all who opposed her. He was right. It was easier just to give in.
面白そう。私も行く。おお、手は多いほど良いぞよ。
Mitsuki then grabbed the nape of Kurosaki's neck and began dragging him out the door in a decidedly painful-looking manner. He was like a teary-eyed chick caught in talons of a bird of prey, struggling in vain as he was being carried off to meet his grisly end.
俺生徒会じゃないのに。
I just loved watching those boys interact with Hellgirl's Mitsuki. I couldn't wait to see more. I didn't even care if I had to clean in order to do it. I was a volunteer after all, so I was pretty much off the hook here. Evolving at my own pace and dragging for me. As soon as we left the classroom, though, we ran to Yuya. Or rather, I did, as in I literally ran into him. I wasn't watching where I was going. I wound up slamming into him so hard that I fell over. Immediately, he'd reached out his hand to help me up and asked if I was alright. Now that's a white knight if I've ever seen one. Sure. What a fun evening this would be. I imagined it ending with me lying in bed, dreaming of Yuya's perfect face inching even closer to mine, but instead... Oh, the microphone went off again. Okay. Oh, shit.
大丈夫、どこ。
Oh, no. Hmm.
いいよ。全部吐いちゃったら楽になるよ。
Tooth. Why is it called Tooth, though? Why is this last episode called Tooth? Last chapter, last episode, whatever. Okay, enough of the groaning.
楽になった気がする。よかった。どうする？みんなのところに戻る？
Oh, hello. You're already here. Oh, hello. It's a half-decomposed corpse. Unfortunately, it's too far gone to determine the age or gender, so for fully intact Sku-99 could like the bones, identifying these as the remains of a teenage girl. Kamashiro Trade School, Tomomi Miranaga. Ooh, and we are just already in it. And absolutely will not open anymore. But I was just sitting there maybe locked, so I got jammed on my left. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh my god. Ooh. I bet it does.
涼介涼介痛いか
Yeah, I said that
膝と
too.
大腿部の関節を縛った。出血は抑えられるはずだ。
足も持ってきてるから心配するな。
We were in an old-fashioned, run-down, rather condemned school building. None of us knew how we got here, nor even where here was. So even they don't know how they actually got here. I just emerged from the girls' room with Emmy and producing my lunch, where Yuya, Okawa, Katayama, and Shirama were waiting. The whole hallway was an absolute bloodbath after what had happened. Poor Katayama walked into some kind of booby trap, and half his right leg was lopped off. That's what I assumed from the way that looked. It looked excruciating. Okay. How is somebody supposed to handle a situation like this? Why did it have to happen at all?
なんなんだよこの学校。なんで罠とか仕掛けてあるんだ。つうかどこだよここ。ふざけんだよ。
静かにしてよ。涼介大怪我してんだぞ。
はあ？なんだおい。やんのかこれ。や
めて。This is what tagging along with Bluesky and the others got me. I thought it was going to be a laugh riot. At first, it was great. We all went to the student council room where we met up with Katayama, Shimada, and Evie and started cleaning and goofing around. And then we were done. Then when we were done, we suggested we all tried this new charm she discovered on the internet. She's not. So they did do with the charm. So they did do the stupid charm. She knows for all that kind of stuff. She took out this simple white paper doll, and we were all kind of fascinated. So we did as we were instructed, and then suddenly everything went dark. There was a violent shaking, and then we were here in this old school house. No explanation.
とにかく出ようよここ。みんなで一緒にここを出よう。玄関に行こう。
片山は
俺が背負う。
Yuya was so kind. You can always count on boys in times like these. Still, there's a potential problem with this course of action.
待って。でも今みたいな罠とかさあったら危ないよ。人を背負ってたらとっさに動けないし。
True.
だけどだからまずは外までの道の安全を確保してから片山くんを連れに戻ってきた方がいいと思うんだ。
Fuck you. Like you know by now how much I hate Kazami.
賛成だ。
そっか。
I don't think I've met these other ones before.
涼介大丈夫だぞ。お前を置いてったりしないな。
At least him. I don't remember if I've ever seen him with them before. Or I'm just very much have bad memory. Okawa was in a state of absolute panic. He just kept muttering to himself at Katayama's side. The two of them had always been extremely close. Certainly naturally to be worried, though. His concern kind of bordered on obsession.
でもじゃあ誰が行くの？通路を歩いてるだけでいきなり足が切り飛ばされるんだよ。
お前今玄関行こうっつったじゃねえか。行ってこいよ。
Don't yell at her. Shimada practically spit his answer at her. I hate people like him. Sure, he had a pretty face, and that's basically all he had, though. People like him poses models in men's journals, but they're not good for much else. He got a lot of girls, too, but I'm not one of them. I could never get past his awful attitude. It's such a huge turnoff for me when guys act that way. What do I got some news about Kizami for you? I can't get over how she's crushing on Kizami. It's so unfortunate. Not that I don't admire speaking with confidence and force. I try to do it myself whenever I can. But there's a difference between speaking forcefully and speaking in a way that belittles others. Shimada was basically just cold and caring.
私が行くよ。言い出すっぺだし。トコ。
俺も行こう。
What a difference, like night and day. Kind, thoughtful people like him don't make flippant remarks. They just man up and get stuff done. Oh, you poor girl. Count how many times I'm gonna say that this chapter. I was crushing on him harder than ever because now not only did I think he was both cool and hot, I also gained a ton of more respect for him.
大人数で行く必要はない。行くならあと一人くらいだ。どうする？
That silence, no volunteers, huh? Everybody just looked at one another, then looked away as if they were ashamed of themselves.
俺はどうしよう、涼介。寂しいよな。
Oh. He was frantically shifting his gaze from one person to another. I'd never seen him so on edge before. Finally, the silence was broken by a loud, shrill male voice, definitely not whom I would have picked.
くそ、俺が言ってやるよ。お前はここにいろ。
いいの？女子の桐崎さんが行くって言ってるのに。
俺が行く。ヘタレはここで待ってろ。邪魔になる。
わかった。俺は陽介についてるよ。頼む。
じゃあ行こう。急がないと片山マジで危ないし。トウコ、気をつけてね。うん。
Was I scared? You bet I was scared, but in a situation like this, everybody has to work together, and as long as I had willpower left in me, I wasn't about to give up. Plus, it didn't hurt that Yuya was with me, so I knew everything was going to turn out just fine. Again, you poor girl. I kind of know already that I can just go straight here, because there's that one body was the only body on the 3rd floor. There's 2 on the 2nd floor, and I think 3 on the 1st floor. There's only 6 bodies, I think. And I've screenshot of all where they all are. Should be... There you are. Oh, it's got a rope around it. Okay. Deceased corpse, but still warm. Based on appearance and uniform, this was most likely high school boy. Shouldn't need tag on the guard next to him, but is that an alias? A fake ID? The name on the card seems highly suspicious. Kurashiki Industrial High School, Onda, 4th Street. Okay. Hello. See the body. Hello. It's a newly deceased corpse. Based on appearance and dress, she seemed to have been female. There's a soon to tag her feet. Karasuyama High School, Megami Onda. Anything in here that I can... Oh, hello. How did it feel to be the reading pressure erased, making it harder to interpret what it might have said? That's great. There seems to have been... just been... Oh. Ooh. It's a bunch of dishes. They must have been propped against the door. There are wet, bloody prints all over them. It's a little disturbing. Ooh, that's not fun. The word infirmary was written on the plate above the door. Somehow the room just felt like it would be deserted. I was oddly confident about that. Not sure why I felt that way, to be honest, but for good measure I shouted, "Is anybody in there?" We still haven't found Mitsuki after all. I didn't hear her call back, though. She really had no business in this room whatsoever. Wait, was that a key sticking out of the lock? Who would have locked the door but left the key? What would be the point?
お、なんだこれ。扉に鍵刺さってるぜ。
何してんの？
中に化け物でもいたら大変だろ。出てこれないようにしてやった。
No, it's not
その鍵
fair.
どうするのよ？
俺が持っとくよっと。
危ないな、投げないでよ。
キャッチうめえだろ。まだ高く投げられるぜ。
Pain in the ass. Shimada was such a pain in the ass. I really couldn't stand the guy. Alright. He's still doing it.
すごい、分かったからやめて。
ここ天井高えな。よし。ふっ。ああ、どこ行った？まあいいや。知らね。
And now the infirmary was cut off from us as if we needed it. Brilliant. Rush over to the door, hopeful yet afraid, knowing it might not open, but praying this horrid place would show us at least a little mercy. Gingerly had raised my hand and pushed on it, and it swung open without even the slightest hesitation. It seemed almost too easy. It was unnaturally dark outside, though, and the rain was coming down so hard that peeking my head out for a moment left my uniform completely soaked. Shimada pushed past me, throwing the door open even wider with his usual lack of regard for anyone or anything around him. My clothes went from soaked to drenched in a matter of seconds. For her to actually walk out into it, I feel like I'd drown.
なんだこりゃ。真っ暗だぞ。森？
ひどい雨。こんな中外に出て行ったら服びしょ濡れになりそう。
そりゃ見てみてえな。
けど外に出られることは分かったね。片山たち連れに戻ろう。ね、ゆうや。
Despite our having found a way out, Yuya's demeanor hasn't changed a bit. He was sitting back by the hall where he could watch over us while also keeping an eye out for anyone else who might happen by, the model of maturity. Shimada, on the other hand...
頑張れよ。俺はもう出るぞ。こんなわけわかんねえところとっとと出るに限るぜ。片山のところになんか戻らねえよ。
マジで言ってる？
あー、当たり前だバカ。脳なしから順番に死ぬようになってるんだよ。あんな奴ら放っとけよ。はあ、
びっくり。いいんだこんなやつ。
よう桐崎、お前も来いよ。
The tone in his voice said it all. He'd hit the ultimate low. After abandoning his friends to save his own hide, he was now basically propositioning me.
お前には死んでほしくないんだ。前から大事に思ってたからさ。
With an obviously rehearsed and truly sickening pickup line. He really was a slime ball to end all slime balls. Well, let's hear one by Kazami.
信じらんない。何お前、こっち見んなよ。
I couldn't believe we had the nerve to pull something like this. I felt like that may have been the first time I ever truly yelled at someone. I was absolutely livid. And he wasn't even done. No, he still had plenty of salt left to throw in the wound.
うるせえブス、調子乗ってんなよ。せっかく行かせてやろうと思ったのによ。後悔しろや。
死ねえ。こいつマジ切れる。行こう、ゆうや。
My head was swimming, I was scared, I was angry, I was sad, every negative emotion brought to the forefront, and every positive emotion pushed away. I didn't look back, I just turned away from Shimada, walked over to Yuya's side, and continued past him into the hallway. Yuya had been watching all of this unfold from the other side of the room. For a moment, he just stood there, staring blankly at Shimada.
あ？何見てんだよ。消えろよ、能面野郎。
Shimada then drew a large knife from his breast pocket, its tip struggling to glisten in the dull light of the room, but it did ultimately succeed. He began to wave it around like a dumbass, probably thinking it made him look more menacing.
見ろよこれ。昨日買ったんだよ。使えそうだろ？いろいろ。
お前は本当に面白いな。
あいつ女10人くらいいるんだよ。信じられる？何が大事に思ってたよ。
Oh, right, she just walked off, not even looking back, so she doesn't know about the knife.
どんだけ女の子バカにしてんの？マジ許せない。
I was indignant, I was fuming, I just kept cursing and mumbling as I fast walked back to the third floor to meet up with the others. And all the while, Yuya was keeping pace with me, saying nothing at all. Oh, okay, maybe she does know about it. I don't know if she knows about the knife then. Always the model of maturity. Even-tempered, he really was like a rock, or maybe he found my mutterings annoying and was keeping quiet, so I do the same. I didn't like the possibility one bit, so I mentally slapped myself on the cheek, forced positivity in my voice, and tried to engage him in cheery banter.
Yuya はその点誠実だよね。女の子傷つけたこと一回もないでしょ。超モテるのに悪い噂聞いたことないもん。ある意味すごいよ。
I looked at him square in the eyes as if asking him, isn't that right? For a moment his eyes did meet mine, but then they went right back to the hall. Was he not used to receiving compliments from women? That seemed hard to believe.
よくわからない。
What a cute, innocent response. I must have come across as bipolar to him or something. 1 second I tried to lighten the mood with small talk or compliments, and then I'd start to feel scared of this school again, or angry at Shimada, or sad for Katayama. My mind just couldn't make up its mind what to feel.
Mitsuki だよね。今の声。下の階だ。
Mitsuki's for a moment, I wasn't sure which direction to go, but only for a moment. The fact is, our friends were very, very close, so close that it could be foolish not to tell them what's going on before chasing after Mitsuki.
急ごう。エミや片山たち連れてみんなで下に行こうよ。
Yuya just nodded and began running up the stairs, and I was right behind him.
お待たせ。出口見つかったよ。さあ、みんな行こう。
I was out of breath, staring down at the ground, talking to what I assumed would be the three very attentive friends. But then I looked up. They were all there, but there was no immediacy, no urgency on anyone's face. I mean, Okawas weren't even looking at me, nor Yuma, but at Katayama. They were fixated on his face, and each bore a sad, hopeless, empty expression, and they certainly weren't about to get moving. There's a general head. I gently reached out my hand and touching the shoulder.
どうしたの？
Are they too late?
どこ？ダメ。片山くん、どんどん衰弱してる。
陽介、喋らなくなったよ。どうしよう。陽介。
Oh. Emi's eyes were filled with tears. Okawa, too, was cradling Katayama's head, and like he'd been crying this whole time, his eyes were bright red, and his nose was running. Yuya, still saying nothing, just walked over to Katayama's side, bent down and began examining his wound.
急いだ方がいい。
The four of us silently but unanimously agreed that our best course of action was to pick up Katayama and bring him out through the exit we discovered. And we had to be very, very quick about it, or he really would die. I could tell just by looking at him that his time was almost up.
木上くん、背負える？
あ、背に乗せるのを手伝ってくれ。
陽介、頑張れ。みんなが助けてくれるぞ。
As this was all going on, I had the nagging feeling that I was forgetting something. Of course, Mitsuki. We had to go find her. We couldn't just leave her behind after all.
ゆうや、どうしよう。私、2階ちょっと見てきていい？美月の声が気になるんだ。遠くに行っちゃったら。
He didn't even have to say anything. This time, his eyes told me the whole story. Got it? I know I can trust you with this task, they said. And that was enough for me. I shot off down the hall like a bullet. I was determined to find Mitsuki and rejoin everyone en route. At least we're not with Yuya anymore. At least we're not with him anymore. God. I hurried down the second floor, but Mitsuki's voice was coming from even further down. I had to keep going to the first floor ahead of the others. Search. Oh. There's a thoroughly decomposed corpse here. That name on the insane tax just now, but it's a little hard to tell. Let's look at the Prefecture High School. I butchered that completely. Matsuhiro Suzuki.
さっき、美月の声が聞こえた場所から考えると、これ以上先だと聞こえないよね。
Yeah.
戻ってみよう。
Yeah. but I'm doing this for the corpses. Have to decomposed corpse. Though kind of hard to tell, it appears to be a remains of a female senior high school student. She still seems to be loosely gripping her student ID and taking one of her hands. Leona Orimura. This is the last name tag, I believe.
さっき、美月の声が聞こえた場所から考えると、
Yeah.
これ以上先だと
Let
聞こえない
me...
よね。戻ってみよう。
I know. You done talking? Okay. Thank you. Having gone completely skeletal is virtually impossible to determine age or gender. Fortunately, the sent insane team staff survived. A male student from trade school. Komashiro Trade School, Toru Takashi. Okay, I should have all of the name tags. Okay. Now we're on track. If I keep running in circles like this, I'll never find her. I was in a state of panic and I was allowing it to steer my path. Frustrated with the situation with myself for choosing to give up and head back empty handed, I forced myself to stop and turn. I was going to do what I should have done in the first place, call it Mitsuki's name with everything I had in me. Hope she responded.
美月どこ？みんないるよ。
No answer. Just the cold, lonely sounds of rain and wind bearing down on this old, dilapidated building. Oh, she's probably like in a parallel dimension of the school, like how the school is. This may have been a fairly large school, but sound travels well in here. If she were anywhere in this hallway, she would have heard me. If she were just here only minutes ago, she definitely should have been around now. Could something have happened to her?
美月
Am I using a guide so I don't waste time with this one? Yes. I'm sorry. It takes me so long with some of to figure out what I actually have to do. Oh, hello. Okay. What the hell is that? What did I just appear in front of me? Okay, let's talk to you. From the looks of it, you're another victim director against your will now. Well, I'll tell you now, there's no escape from the school. There's nothing to be gained here but despair. Though if you got an iron will, you might be able to try it for a little while at least. Here, you should have this. It'll keep the wandering spirits at bay, though it only works once. So take it, get out of here, and fight like hell. Stay alive as long as you possibly can. Spirit vanished, but laying on the floor below where it had been was a gemstone. Specifically a violet-colored gemstone, probably an amethyst. So you can use that to keep the wandering spirits at bay one time, huh? I guess he meant the full-body ones, or it would have kept him at bay too. Either way, with this gem, I felt like I could actually get back to my friend safely. I was as hopeful as one could expect, all things considered. Of course, he also said there's no escape from here, but it was my prerogative to believe. No, not that. Hello, Ghosty. Appears to be the ghost of a young boy. You know I'm gonna do the bad end so I can get the achievement for all the ends. And it's gonna be, yep. Hello. Okay, it's a quick one. Good. Okay, this is the only wrong end in this chapter. Okay. Yep, there's all the name tag achievements. I forget that only happens when you get back to the menu. Okay, so I could just use quick saves the whole time. Didn't have to worry about all of this. I have the amethyst in front of me and approach the spirits. Bye-bye. And I think I'm done with the walkthrough now. Incredibly, it actually worked. Both the ghost and the gym had disappeared. The stairwell was now free to be traversed. Oh god, what did you see? Emmy's face was absolutely wrecked with tears and she was shaking her head violently. She wanted to tell me something, but the words just weren't coming. She gonna finally see Kizami's true nature. I had a really bad feeling about this. I ran past her to the bathrooms to where Katayama was being lifted onto Yuya's shoulders when I left. Why? Katayama was back on the floor right where he set him down when this whole deal began. I wasn't on Yuya's shoulders. What was going on? I had an inkling, but I didn't want to believe it, so I pushed it out of my mind. You dumb girl.
すごい声を上げて、
Mm.
そのまま嘘。
I didn't know what else to say. The person that just died, and not some stranger, but a person I knew, a friend. It was the strangest feeling. I kept looking at him and thinking, is he really dead? Is this really what a person looks like when he dies? Seeing him like that drained every last bit of energy I had in me. I felt my knees thoroughly defeated. And I think it said that there was another choice, but it doesn't actually affect
大
anything.
川くん、片山くんから離れないって、どうすればいいの？
Emmy and I couldn't stay near the body. We'd gone down to the second floor where we picked a corner and just stood there trying to recompose ourselves. Yuya elected to stay with Okawa on the third floor, I guess to try and break him from his shock and help put some distance between him and Katayama. None of this felt real. Maybe I just didn't want it to be real. It was a nightmare. It had to be. I'd just sit up in my bed and it was all be over.
してこんなことになっちゃったんだろう。冷めないね。おかしいな。冷めないの。さっきから夢だと思おうとしてるんだけど。トウコ。
Oh, my energy was waning again. I sank to the ground, landing on my knees. Emmy followed my lead and put an arm around me for comfort. Our friend had just died. He just died. God, why? Emmy and I looked at each other. We both heard them, footsteps coming down the hall. It was too dark to make out who it was, but the gate was decidedly male. The two of us slowly and quietly rose to our feet, hid around the corner and peeked out, both terrified and curious as to whom or what we might see. There at the end of the hall, the figure finally came into view. It was a tallish man, unsteadily teetering as he slowly strode toward us. It was Shimada, drenched from head to toe.
島田くん。
Emmy shot forward, intending to run toward him, but I grabbed her arm and held her back without even thinking about it. She turned and looked at me with a puzzled expression.
あいつ、私無理。まさか、なんかされたの？うん。よかった。こんな時だし、起こったことだけでも伝えておかないと。
She looked back at me again as she said this, staring right into my eyes in an almost disciplinary manner. It was the perfect guilt stare. I couldn't help but succumb to it, feeling bad for not having filled her in about the Shimada incident. Shimada continued his slow, wet walk down the hall, then all of a sudden, for no discernible reason, he simply fell forward, leaning hard on his knees. Something was wrong with him, and while I loathed the man, I didn't want to see him suffer. Emmy and I were both poised to rush to his aid, when other figures randomly began appearing all around him, figures of children, blue and ethereal, shimmering with their own light. Ooh. Okay, enough of the. I didn't know if they were gonna stop. It may have just been like a loop, like a loop track. You could barely even see Shimada from our vantage point anymore, as his body was obscured almost completely by the backs of these ghost children. He wasn't moving though, so it didn't seem like they were doing anything to him. But then he wasn't moving at all, which seemed highly suspicious. It occurred to me that maybe we should try to save him. I inched forward. He was still in exactly the same position he'd been when he fell to his knees. He literally hadn't moved at all. Was he unconscious? Emmy and I looked at one another and nodded. It was a silent signal to move forward and do whatever we could to help. The children vanish as we approach, revealing a horrific sight. Shimanda's stomach had been flayed wide open. He was dead. The knife he flaunted over earlier was jutting from the wound. It was an almost ceremonial death, like that of a samurai who'd thrown himself on his sword. Oh, my neck. Sitting in the chair is not comfortable. Okay. Ghost.
知らないよ。まだ近くにいるんじゃないの。キザミ君、大変なの。島田君が。
Yeah, who presumably rushed down to see what was wrong, calmly walked over to Shimada's body. He was checking for signs of respiration or pulse. Turned back to face again a moment later, and his facial expression said it all. Shimada really was dead. I was beginning to lose it. I just couldn't take it anymore of this. My friends and acquaintances were dying one by one. I guess I should say he had died. But it didn't seem like it was over. Not by a long shot. I was doing more than trying it. I already succeeded twice over. I was scared, I was paranoid, I was shaking and crying and screaming inside. I was deathly afraid that something else would show up, and then it did. Hello, Sachiko. There's a little girl in a red dress standing between us and the third floor staircase. I couldn't make out of the expression on her face, though there were bangs, but I could literally feel the hatred in her eyes as she stared into our souls. Then she turned around and slid up the staircase into the third floor hallway. Emily was turned the other way, so she hadn't seen the girl at all. The music has like a screaming person in it. She eventually followed our gazes, but by that time the girl was gone. She looked confused. That particular apparition looked a lot different from the other ghosts it seemed, but there was still no doubt in my mind. She was definitely a ghost. Dangerous. Well, that is the direction the girl in the red dress went. I guess you didn't want me to be put in harm's way. And now Aaron watches back, receded into the darkness as he chased after Emmy. Okay. Shit. What was going on? Why was Emmy screaming? I could hear voices now. Emmy and Okawa were having a heated argument. Leave him and run. We'll get caught. That ghost girl must have been pursuing them. Okay. Katayama's body was sprawled unceremoniously on the landing halfway up the third floor, along with Okawa. At top of the stairs stood Emi, and in front of her, Yuya, with an imposing scowl on his face. Ooh. I didn't understand any of this. What had just happened? Emi let out another scream and came running toward me down the stairs. Okawa then seemed as if he'd fallen and broken his arm. He was lopsided, crawling toward me. It was almost as if he were trying to distance himself from Yuya. I ran to the base of the stairs to meet up with Emi. I needed some sort of context here.
Emi! Nani? どうしたの？
逃げろ逃げろ殺されるぞ
キサミ君が蹴り落としたの急に
I glanced up at Yuya, but his face was shrouded in darkness. Couldn't make out any expression at all. Okawa seemed to have reached his breaking point. He shot to his feet and took off behind me toward the second floor as fast as he could. Yuya kicked Okawa down the stairs? Why?
嘘でしょ
Oh, it's true. Slowly he walked down to the landing, but he was neither concerned nor scornful. His face was a blank slate. As soon as he reached my level, he bent down and began fiddling with Katayama's body, raising the arms and then letting them drop, wiping blood from the ears and nose, and then looking at it as if studying a specimen under a microscope. There he is. There's the Kizami we know and hate. What the hell? He was enjoying this? I finally got to see an emotion ring clearly in his face and his elation. How was this not some crazy dream? Tears began spilling from my eyes like water. I was shocked, confused, and I don't even know what else. Emi and I found ourselves standing in front of the door to the school infirmary.
鍵島田が抜いてなくしちゃったんだよねこんなとこ逃げ込んでもし見つかったら終わりだよ下に逃げよう
The poor girl was frantic. I can't say I blamed her, but well, something about this whole situation just didn't feel right to me.
やっぱり私信じられないあ何がユウヤがあんな優しいユウヤがひどいことするなんて
Oh, you dumb girl.
だって本当に蹴り落としたのよ大川を信じられないよじゃあ勝手にすればいいよもう
With that, Emi pushed me out of the way and ran past me toward the stairwell leading to the first floor.
知らない私のこと嘘つきだって言うんでしょ
And off she went. I was now separated from every one of my friends, but was I really in danger? I mean, I was, but from Yuya? That didn't seem right. More likely I didn't want to be. I wanted to believe that this was all a misunderstanding. My legs were shaking and my head was swimming. I just stood there, unsure where I should go, what I should do. Hello. And then there he was, right behind me. And in his hand was Shimada's huge knife, the one that was last seen, jutting from Shimada's stomach. It was still dripping with blood. This definitely made matters more complicated. How could I doubt Yuya's guilt when he was holding something like that? Why did he even have it? How could he possibly bring himself to pull a knife from his friend's lifeless corpse? But I wasn't going to run. I turned around and braced myself. I opened my mouth, intent on discussing this rationally. If I ran away now, I felt like it would be over. There would be nothing left to save, no one left to trust, but what could possibly could I possibly say to him? Why did you do it?
ゆうや信じられないよ。どうして。
My body was still visibly shuddering and my voice was breaking. I'd unconsciously taken an accusatory tone with him, which was not at all what I wanted, but it was too late to take it back now. I hoped he didn't notice, but he did as soon as the word "why" slipped from my lips. His eyes glazed over. It was as if all the warmth and compassion I'd seen there before was tapped and drained, leaving behind nothing more than an empty container.
お前もか。同じだな。
Then he just started muttering to himself and slowly walked right past me, as if I weren't even there.
ゆうや待ってよ。何持ってるのそれ。
使えそうだ。いろいろ。
やめて捨ててよ。
Oh, you'll get rid of it, all right. No, I couldn't let this go on. I grabbed him by the arm and just clung to him, putting my full weight on his body to keep him from going any further down the hallway. He was at a crossroads, but I walked down a path of no return. I wasn't going to lose the kind, considerate Yuya I'd fallen for. Unfortunately, the only tools I had at my disposal for stopping him were my feelings, and those just weren't going to be enough. Oh, okay. I was so startled that it took me a moment before I even figured out what happened.
同じだ。ここでは。
That was the first time in my entire life that I'd ever been punched in the head, and he put everything he had into
この
it.
学校に殺されるのも。
I couldn't focus. My brain was still rattling inside my skull from the impact.
俺に殺されるのも。
The world was spinning. I looked up at him with spasmodic, twitchy, tear-filled eyes. There was no sign of remorse or compassion whatsoever. He looked like a feudal warrior clutching his sword and staring down at his enemy. The area all around his eyes was throbbing. It hurt. Around my eye was throbbing. It hurt so badly. It felt so swollen and sore. I couldn't even imagine what it must have looked like. And he wasn't done with me. He got in closer and closer, grinning unnaturally as he raised his fist for a second strike. No. I was running on pure instinct and adrenaline at this point. I shot to my feet and just forced him to carry me to safety, somewhere, anywhere. He was going to kill me. He was really going to kill me. God. I felt something rattling around uncomfortably inside my mouth, so I spit it into my hand. It was white. A single white tooth. That's why it's called tooth. A single white tooth with blood red highlights on its root. That maniac had actually knocked out one of my teeth. He was there just behind me. I panicked, tripping over my own feet and stumbling to the ground on the landing between the first and second floor. I'd fallen on my backside, dropping my tooth on the ground next to me. I began slinking away from the encroaching figure of Yuya Kizami. Save me, somebody, anybody, God, please. I was scooting backwards across the floor, too stiff, sore, and scared to stand, but then my hand brushed across something small and metallic, a key. He aimed my hand right over it. I was shaking so badly that I could barely work my fingers to get a grip. It was the most frustrating feeling in the world, and for a few seconds that felt like hours, I just kept trying in vain to pick up the damned key. Finally, I slipped my fingers through the ring. I had it. This was my one and only chance. Scrambling to my feet, I somehow slipped past Yuya. I ran back up to the second floor as fast as I could, force my shaky legs to carry me. I had the key. I could lock myself in. I could hide in the infirmary. Izami didn't pursue, not right away. He just stood there staring at the tooth that I dropped on the ground, staring intently as if trying to make out what he was seeing. Excuse me? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear you eating a tooth. There didn't seem to be any way to lock the door from the inside. I needed to find a hiding place before Yuya showed up. The corner of the room, under the bed maybe. I was scanning every inch of the room as quickly as possible, sizing up my surroundings. My eyes shot to one of the medicine shelves. Scissors, yeah. Felt like such a revelation that like the answer I was looking for, but what was I going to do with scissors? Was I going to fight? Fight who? Yuya? I wouldn't stand a chance. I decided to leave them there. I stepped back, crouched down behind the partitioning screen that was set up in the middle of the room. Going on for like almost an hour, 10 minutes. The Rabe had run back to the bathrooms on the third floor to warn Okawa about the imminent threat that was approaching. Unsurprisingly, he was still crouched on the ground, cradling Katayama's lifeless in his arms. And he was still stubbornly insistent that if he were to leave that spot, he'd have to carry Katayama with him.
こいつを置いていけないだろう。早く病院へ連れて行かなきゃ。もう死んでるわ。死んでない死んでないんだ。
When a stubborn, foolish man, I'd had enough. I decided I'd rip Katayama's body from Okawa's arms and kick it down the stairs. Oh, we're at Kizami's point of view. It made one hell of a thud when it hit the landing, but he was already dead, so what did it matter? As long as it helped get Okawa moving, I didn't care. See, look, he's dead, so get your ass off that floor and run.
目を覚ませ。片山はもう死んでいる。早くここから逃げるんだ。
Rabe was looking at me, then at Katayama's body, then back at me as if she couldn't make up her mind which was more interesting. But why was she looking at me? Did I have something on my face? Okawa, on the other hand, was focused squarely on Katayama. He was trembling all over, but I thought he finally understood. Then he turned toward me. He yelled like a madman and ran down the stairs toward his friend's body. It wasn't exactly in his right mind, however, so those last few steps didn't quite go as planned. He tripped and fell quite hard next to Katayama. Right from his point of view now.
Emi, nani? どうしたの?
I wasn't the one who killed Katayama.
殺されるぞ。
そうか。ここでは学校に殺されるのも俺に殺されるのも同じってことか。どうせみんな死ぬのだからな。
Oh. That's when he snapped then? When he finally snapped. Ha. Ha. Oh, I forgot I had the music down. There's music playing. It's not being recorded because it's not being picked up. Yeah, there's music playing. It's not being picked up because I turned down the music because it was so goddamn loud. I don't know if it's actually even being recorded because it's not showing anything with the volume. Like it's showing a tiny bit, but it's like, I doubt it's being picked up. Oh, while this is going. Technically, I guess this is the last chapter. I'll check out the blood drive one in another video, but after that, I'll be done with the game. It's weird to say that I've enjoyed this because it's all the stuff that happened in it. But of course, it's Corpse Party. It's meant to be, you know, fucked up. Yeah, the indie thing is not playing, or it's playing, it's not being heard. And it's not like me muting it, it's literally, I doubt it's getting picked up. Like I said, it's weird to be like, I enjoyed this. It's more like, I enjoyed the experience of a Corpse Party game in a visual novel style. Of like these alternate stories being told, of what happens. I do have playlists for the original Corpse Party. Not original, like the 2021 remastered of it, but which is funny, which uses actually the art style characters from this game in that game versus what the old one the original was like. Oh god, there's the noise. Prologue blood drive, yep, see, told you. Also chapter 8, attaining all endings in chapter 7. Where is it? Is it here? There you are. Okay. I still have some of these. Are there any? I am missing some name tags. Fuck. Name tags. Karasuyama High School. All artwork, music, and cast messages. Name tags. I'm missing a single name tag. What am I missing? Unless it's in Blood Drive, in the Blood Drive prologue, I doubt it. No, it doesn't say there's any. I'm missing a single one. Oh no, god damn it. I gotta go back through the whole game to figure out where. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video for Corpse Party. I've managed to do all of Chapter 7 in one video. I'm happy about that. I wanted to have that done. And I had the time to actually record a longer video like this so I can have that all done. So it seems like after the next video will be the prologue for Blood Drive. Again, let me know if you want to see me play that. But after that, I'll be continuing on do some other games for a next multi-part series. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, if you did, subscribe. Check out other stuff I do. Alright, here. See you next time. Bye-bye.